Hello everybody and welcome to this Pro and Expert Division General playthrough for the Pitstop 9-hole cup here on the BK Golf Clash YouTube channel. Please hit thumbs up on the video, it helps me out a lot, and make sure you're subscribed as well. Totally free to do so. Replays and adjustments for all 9 holes at the Wiseacre Ranch course which we're playing here for this 9-hole cup. Adjustments on screen as well and suggestions of tweaks and alternative shots as we go in case any of these don't quite suit your play style. Bear in mind these are random wind conditions. We won't know the actual winds until the tournament begins. But if you are playing expert, check out the channel on Thursday and Saturday in the morning for tournament wind playthroughs for qualifying and final round. Good luck, here we go. Hole number 1 here in Pro and Expert. Going to show you a bounce over shot. Obviously with tailwind and a berserker you can drive to near green with a decent tailwind. But if not, we're going to play bounce over here, top spin and 3 bars side spin to the left here. Katana or Kingmaker, ideal. Can use, of course, Apocalypse or Thor's Hammer if you've got a better driver than the extra mile. Maximum distance, 20% elevation on this one. Does take me into a little bit of overpower, but nothing that is not manageable. So I just go with half a ring and then half a ball of curl to the left, and the idea here is using the left spin and the left curl to take the ball nicely away from the bunker. We bounce very comfortably over the hazards and down the centre of the fairway, and here you're looking for a nice drive around that point. Second shot, we're going to check our club distance. This was from a previous tournament, so I was using a pin check, but it will also equate to true club distance, that is TC on the notepad, plus 10% elevation. From experience, even in different wind angles here, you're going to be around 60 to 70% of your club range. So that is the slider value that I would be using. A little bit of backspin, steady the path of the ball. You might need a bit more backspin in tailwind angles. There is a bit of headwind on this one, but we're playing true club distance, 10% elevation. Good chance for an eagle here if you've got an adjustment dialed in. Bounces very nicely before the green, and then we drop it for an eagle on hole number 1. The rough bump is the best chance for hole in 1 on hole number 2, but in headwind you will have to play a bounce up shot from the fairway instead. But this wind angle lends itself very nicely for the rough bump. Kingmaker in expert division, but in pro you can actually drop down to a katana, and I'm looking to have the bullseye in that first cut of rough there. Then adding spin, we need a side spin 3 ball here, a little bit of top spin and around 2.5 bars side spin to the left, bull guide to the hole. In this wind angle, 1-on-1 works nicely, so for 5.5 wind, I'm going 5.5 rings. In other wind angles, you might need a slightly different adjustment though. Important to dial in once you know what the tournament wind conditions will be. Perfect ball is of course going to be fine, and we catch the rough nicely. Great left can be trouble with this setup, so if you're not feeling comfortable, then go for the bounce up instead. On third hole, I'm going to play with the rock for the bull guide and the accuracy. 4.2 top spin, 1 bar side spin to the left with a tighten. Obviously in headwind, then you would need to go with a driver with more distance. You can always set up with the quarterback and then do a club switch as well. Top spin is the key here though. 6 bars of top spin is great if you have the ability to go with that. Adjust max plus 20. Bull guide is aiming right down the middle of the fairway, and then I'm pushing back up to max here with the rock to make sure I've got some extra distance on my drive. Obviously in straight tailwind you can go aggressive down the left hand side with the berserker. Try and get yourself into a long iron or short iron shot if you've got a good amount of tailwind. But if not, this shot is going to work out absolutely fine. Drive distance, you want around 380 yards. Second shot, you've got a choice of bouncing over from where my target was just a few seconds ago with backspin, or you go with the rough bump. The rough bump is, of course, the best look at the albatross. Set up with the bull guide in the middle of the pin there. No spin, bull guide through the hole. In the end, I just shunt the position up to have the inner ring touching the rough rather than in the middle of the rough. Because we're going to drop down into the sand on this one, and it will cost us a bit of distance. The adjustment I list here on the notepad is different to the video. It's based off the miss here that I'm going to show you. But generally, I'd play true club distance, 0 elevation for this one. If you're bouncing over, because you'll have obviously a second bounce to deal with, I will play 10 or 15% if you're playing the bounce over shot. But like I said, rough bump is the best way of attacking the pin. Speed is good, just need a tweak to the adjustment on that one. Hole number 4, there is a blast shot available to the green, but not in this wind angle. We have headwind here off the tee. So we're going to go with a Kingmaker and either the Extra Mile or the Apocalypse, playing with 3 bars of side spin to the left and 5.8 bars of top spin. Setting up here with a little bit of room before max distance, but ball guide aiming down the fairway. Like I said, a wind ball here in direct headwind is advisable, which is why I've gone for a Kingmaker here. Adjust max plus 10, it takes me into overpower by 3 rings, so I'm going to add that on, of course. If you want to avoid overpower, go with a power 5 wind 2 plus ball if you have one. Half a ball of curl to the left and hit perfect, and the top spin and the overpower will take us comfortably over the rough and along the fairway here, just skimming past the rough on the left, and we get a nice roll to a drive distance here of around 350 yards. Second shot, playing with the Hornet. You can play with the runner if you don't have the Hornet in a high enough level, and once again this was taken from a tournament, but it will equate also to true club distance. That will be my general advice for random wind directions, using the Hornet or the runner for the top spin, because we need to go with between 4.5 and 5.5 bars top spin, depending on the wind angle. Find your position in the rough, add the spin, and with any form of headwind, make sure that ball guide is going slightly through the hole. Top of the red ring, just before the edge of the rough here, true club distance plus 10. If you need more information about using the slider or finding your club distance, check out the Academy tutorial playlist on the channel homepage. Perfect ball here, and you'll see the top spin will take us very nicely out of the rough, and we drop it beautifully for an eagle on hole 4. Quick break here to remind you all there will be a special end of season 53 live stream event on the channel Sunday the 23rd of October in the evening UK time. Join in, say hello in the chat, ask me some questions about the gameplay or game in general if you want to. Your chance to interact with me live. There'll be polls, there'll be a couple of giveaways, and there will be a special guest as well. Loads of stuff coming up on that live stream. It's already scheduled on the channel, so go over there and set yourself a reminder. Sunday, 23rd of October. On to the next par 3. I'm going to play with a power 3 ball and the sniper here. If you have a low-level sniper, you would need to set this one up with a high-powered ball and play with a high-power ball, or you try and go with a lower power ball with the quarterback. A few options on this one, and it varies on the wind angle as well. Adding spin, ball guide just through the hole, because we're going to adjust into the bunker here. Max plus 15, I do an intentional 12.01 pull angle on this one. This was a previously dialed in shot from an old tournament. Takes me into a little bit of overpower. The wind angle can vary, of course, slightly. So I'm going to add that on, just touching the bottom teeth there. Perfect ball away, and we'll see how this one goes. You're either going to be using the sniper or the quarterback. Like I said, depending on the wind angle, make sure you have the right power ball on so you're not in between clubs. But we drop it nicely there for a hole in 1. Albatross to show you here on hole number 6, a very nice wind angle. Still going to play with the Berserker though, because then I can use the sniper for the second shot. We're going with 6 top spin and 2 bars side spin to the right, stretching out and finding my position with the second bounce over the rough and ball guide pointing at the dark bushes up ahead. Max plus 10 is the adjustment here. Max plus 10, power 5 settings, of course, because we're using a power 5 ball. Then once I've adjusted my rings, we're going to take our shot directly. Don't need to push up because I want to have a slow max overpower needle with outer wall curl to the right. So easy to hit perfect here, which we do. And you'll see the ball will bounce on the fairway very nicely indeed. The top spin will take us over the rough and the hazards there and along the fairway over the other side. Drive distance here going to be a nice long drive of 421 yards. Good thing about power 5 ball, we can use the sniper. So I'm playing with Just over 2 bars backspin, a little bit of side spin to the right, and you'll see a nice little point here where the ball guide doesn't move around too much, and that's where I'm aiming to land. So it's a nice little sticky spot rather than a funnel. So get a nice consistent landing position here, and we're going to play true club distance, 10% elevation. For every plus yard away from max, we reduce 2.5% on the slider. As a guide, if you don't want to use the slider though, estimate club distance yourself by finding the min and max line. Perfect ball away, and this one very nicely drops for an albatross on hole number 6. On hole 7, if we haven't got tailwind and therefore the ability to play aggressively over on the right above, or rather over all of the rough and the bushes, then we're going to have to lay up. 4.5 topspin, 2 bars side spin to the right. Red ring is my reference here with the extra mile, but obviously different drivers and club levels will have different ring placements. Either way though, I want to set up using the top spin without having to adjust into overpower. Max plus 10 on this one, outer wall curl to the right, just to get myself a few yards closer to the green, because playing this route we're going to have to adjust accurately, of course, but also approach the pin from distance, which is going to be a tough eagle to drop, but there is still a chance. Drive distance 336. Here we're going to play, of course, with the sniper alongside the bunker. So going to find a good landing spot here, then adding a little bit of a backspin and side spin to the left. The spin will vary depending where you are on your drive, but as a reference with the sniper here, I like to have the blue ring touching the edge of the bunker, just a couple of rings beyond where it starts, kind of level horizontally. Ball guide is pointing at the pin, leaving it slightly short though because we've got tailwind. The adjustment here, I would play true club distance, 0 elevation. This is a relatively flat shot. You might want to go to 5% if you've got more crosswind than me or stronger wind strength to deal with. This is a tough one to drop though, so I would recommend in tailwind, if you can go aggressive, go with that, because an eagle on this hole will be a nice bonus. Almost getting it in there, just missing on the left-hand side. Once again, a rough bump is the best opportunity here on hole number 8. If you don't feel confident with that, then play a bounce over shot instead, or just play a containing shot with a load of backspin. Going with the quarterback here, bouncing comfortably in the centre of the rough, playing with a low power ball here, navigator, don't want to be in between clubs. And then we're going to go with backspin, just over 3 bars, and it is just before half a bar of side spin to the right. Setting up there with spin added, ball guide going to the hole. In the video here I play min plus 5, that is unfortunately over adjusted, so my recommendation based on this miss in this particular wind angle, of course, would be min plus 0, just to take a couple of decimals off the adjustment. Perfect ball away. You'll see the speed is good here, but as it's over adjusted, we just miss it on the left. But the rough bump is the best chance once again on this par 3. And finally on to hole 9. I had a look at it with the Berserker, but there wasn't quite enough tailwind to go aggressively over the rocks on the left, so we're just going to have to go along the right-hand side instead. But obviously if you've got more predominant tailwind angle, go full blast with top spin and left spin over to the left-hand side. But here we're going with top spin and right spin, aim down the middle of the fairway, setting up there. Going to push the rings because otherwise the trees and the bushes will be in your way. Max plus 10 on this one, and we want to get a fair distance down the fairway just to make the second shot a little bit easier. No curl needed, just a straight up shot. Perfect ball away. You will see it bounces very nicely before the rough and the bunker, and the top spin takes us down the fairway, finding the centre of the fairway, and we've got a drive distance here of 382 yards. From this side, you're going to have to play with a wood club with distance, so it's going to be big dog or cataclysm. In headwind angle, I would bounce over the rough and the sand with top spin and just play to the green safely that way. But if you can reach over here directly nearer the green, then play with backspin and right spin as I do here. Obviously, we're grappling with a low-level ball guide here with this club, but really when you're playing on the right side, it's it's a very difficult route to secure the albatross. The albatross is, of course, much more attainable playing aggressively on the left, but it's going to be wind angle dependent. From the right-hand side here, maximum distance, 0 elevation. This one is a fairly flat shot. So max plus 0. If you were playing into any headwind here, I would go 10% on that one just to make sure you're countering any extra wind push. Perfect ball away, and like I said, we're safely onto the green here, and we've got a nice putt for the eagle. Thank you for watching this video for the Pitstop 9-hole cup here on the channel. Don't forget to join us on Facebook as well. You can interact with me. If you've got any questions on the game, and not only me, but there will be other people to help answer as well. There'll be free guides posted from some of the excellent creators in the community, and links to other channels as well where you can get tips, help and support about the game. If you don't want to engage in any of that, just sit back and enjoy the discussion points. Over 10,000 members there, totally free to join. So head over there. I will see you there on the BK Golf Clash Facebook group.